this is workshop 10 in a series of 10 workshops on researching your family history in Ireland, mainly on the internet. In the previous 9 workshops we looked at the 3 main areas that you would be researching. That's the 2 censuses, the land records of the 19th century and births, marriages and deaths. Now this is a catch-all session where I want to cover as many of the other sources of information that you will find on the internet as possible. There are many of them, but one of the most useful ones of all is the Public Records Office of Northern Ireland, Belfast, which has the calendar of wills. Now people think there are no wills left in Ireland, but there are. Most of the wills from 1851 are available, and they are held at the Public Records Office of Northern Ireland, and the calendar of wills is an index. I'm going to show you the page that I am using here because some of the sources that we'll be looking at today are not that easy to find, so you can freeze this page if you like and have a look at exactly what the addresses are. But this one's actually quite easy. All you need to do is call up your search engine, type PRONI, P-R-O-N-I, Public Records Office of Northern Ireland. There it is there. Click onto it, and over on the right hand side are some of the records that they have online. And if you click on will calendars and then search the will calendars, you get this window here where you can type in someone's name. Now I've already typed in a name of a man I've been searching recently, Johnson, William Johnson's his name. Less is more, always remember that, don't put in any more than you have to. I knew that he died about 1884, but I wasn't sure, I could have put it in there. I also knew that he was a businessman in Auchnacoy, so I typed in Auchnacoy, which would be contained in the full abstract in here. Hit search, and lo and behold, there is the probate of the will of the late William Johnson. And if you click onto it, you can see that's the calendar, that's the information that's contained in the calendar of wills. Just his name, there are 3 registries of wills in Northern Ireland. There is Londonderry, Armagh and Belfast. This one happens to be Armagh. It gives the date of his death, which if I didn't know it would be there already. It gives a few details on himself and who was to grant a probate of the will. But also in this case, as in about 50% of them, perhaps more, I don't know exactly what it is, the will itself has been photographed and put online by the good people at PRONI. So if you click on image there, that is the will of William Johnson. And this will turned out to be extremely useful. It actually broke this project wide open. It gave us lots of information about himself, his sons, his wife, his brother in America that we didn't know anything about at all. So extremely useful are the calendar of wills, and if you have a will to go with it, that's even better. Going back then to my page of other sources, if you happen to be researching in County Derry, you are very lucky, because when the Four Courts fire of 1922 destroyed all the censuses from the 19th century, there were a few fragments left over, and the most useful fragment is an index to the 1831 census for County Derry. And again, this is online. It is online at the website of a gentleman called Bill McAfee. He used to be a lecturer at the University of Ulster. In fact, he taught me at the University of Ulster many years ago. He has it online. Let me show it to you. If you just type his name, Bill McAfee, in there, into a search engine, you ought to be able to find it. This is his website. Over here down the right hand side, 1831 Census Returns for County Londonderry. Clicking onto it, it actually takes, well, there it is there, it's already up on this page. You can download it in either Excel format or PDF format. It's extremely meticulously done, it's very well organised and absolutely fascinating, very useful. It's only an index, so it only gives the head of household and the number of people in the household and the religion that they were. But, you know, that is gold dust in 19th century information whenever we lost all of those censuses. What else have we got then, going back to my page? Old Age Pension Census Returns. Now, this turned out to be one of the most useful sources of information for me that I ever found. Whenever people became of 70, when they reached 70, after the Old Age Pension Act was introduced in 1909, they could apply for their pension. Most of them did not have birth certificates. In those days, they couldn't read and write, they had nowhere to store them, so the only way they could prove they were 70 was by going along to the registry office and asking them to send a letter to the census office in Dublin saying, can you find me in the 1841 or 1851 census, whatever it is they thought they were in 1909. A letter came back saying that they were found or they were not found, and proving what age they were. All of those letters were then put into big files. They're stored at the Public Records Office in Northern Ireland, again in big ledgers. Luckily, once more, the Mormons have filmed those records. They're not very easy to use because they weren't stored very systematically, so you have to get a microfilm with your county in it. You may need several microfilms, but they are worth looking through if you find what I found in them. Let me show you. My great-grandmother was Mary Brewster. Her brother was John Brewster, and in 1919 he applied for the pension, so he wanted to be able to find himself in the 1851 census. This is his information as it was sent off. I did not know the name of his mother. I didn't know the name of his father, and I started to do genealogy to try and find out where my Boyd name came from. That's why I was doing genealogy in the first place. So here's John Brewster applying to see if he's in the 1851 census. He gives the name of his father, who ought to be in the census as well, obviously, because John Brewster's only going to be a couple of years old. He gives the name of his father as Robert Brewster. He could have given the name of his mother as Mary Brewster, which is what she would have been in the census, but in fact he gave her maiden name, Mary Boyd. So after 4 or 5 years of research, I suddenly found where my Boyd name came from. This is my great-great-grandmother. That's their address. Dromore. That's the age that he said he was, 69 and 9/12. And over here is information which I had to actually went and saw the original and looked at it very carefully, and it's quite hard to see because it's in the binding of the book, but it gave the date of marriage of my great-great-grandparents. Absolute gold dust. Fascinating stuff. So, definitely worth looking for. And where do you find it? Well, the information on old age pension census returns is held at this website. It's called www.irelandgenealogy.com. It actually used to be called PenCR, and most people in the genealogy world know it as PenCR, P-E-N-S-E-A-R, and if you Google PenCR, you will find it. This is what it looks like. That's it there. Ireland Genealogy, and you just put in the name of the person you're looking for and the county, click search for your ancestors, and I think it costs a couple of pounds for each one. Definitely worth having, definitely worth experimenting with. What else have we got then? There are some extremely useful websites that you can use as well, and also I have a genealogy booklet, a guide to researching your family history in Donegal, online at this website here, the website of Maria Ulster Scots, where I'm sitting at the moment. And this booklet, although it was written for Donegal, applies equally to almost any other county in terms of the websites that you would be looking for on the internet. So if you Google Maria Ulster Scots Centre, this is our website, and down on the lower right hand side here you will find my booklet, Tracing Your Donegal Ancestry. Click on there, it will download as an Adobe document. It's quite large, so it takes a couple of minutes to download it. But again, this booklet has live links in it, so all of those links that I am now mentioning are in this booklet, and if you download that booklet onto your computer and click on any of the links that are there, they will take you to the old age pension census returns or some of the other things I'm going to show you now, which are even more difficult to find. Let's have a look. What else have we got? Lists. Okay, not as well known about as they ought to be, but there are a series of lists, and these are basically websites where you can put questions to local amateur family historians like myself in the various counties. So there's one for County Tyrone, there's one for County Donegal, one for County Derry, there's at least one for most counties. And if you ask a question on there, some of the people who tend to frequent those websites will get back to you with some information. Now, how do you find them? Well, as you can see on here, they are at RootsWeb. These lists are hosted at RootsWeb. But again, if you use my booklet, you just would have to click onto the link and it would take you directly there. Let's have a look at one of them. Well, actually, this is the index to all of the lists that they have. So you can see there's a whole series of these mailing lists for different counties and indeed for other things. There's actually more than this as well, but this is just one. And if you click on, for example, County Louth, that will bring up the one for County Louth. And then you just subscribe to it by typing subscribe in there, and you will get all of the messages that come into the County Louth list, and you can put your own message on there and ask your own question. Extremely useful are the lists for getting help with your family research. The next one, I haven't mentioned it yet, but it's the biggest and best internet website, and that's Ancestry.com. The reason why I haven't mentioned it is because the subscription is very heavy and it's not that easy to use. Let me show you it. All you need to do is Google Ancestry.com and you can have your own subscription to it. But they do give you a free period of a couple of weeks normally, so that you could play with it for a while and see if it's going to be useful to you. But it does have vast amounts of information on there which you may wish to use. Ancestry.com. What else have we got? A couple of very specific websites here. If you're researching in Donegal, you will wish to use the website belonging to Lyndall Buckley, a New Zealand lady who's gone to an awful lot of bother to collect information about Donegal. It includes obviously things like the Griffiths valuation and the old age pension, and it includes lots of church births, marriages and deaths as well. It is packed full of useful information. There's another one assembled by a gentleman called Bob, who's usually known as Bob Highflight because of the name that he used for his website. These are not easy to find. So again, if you use my booklet, you will find them more easily, but let me show you them. This is Lyndall's website, and you can see down here she divides all her information into themes: births, marriages and deaths, census records, old photographs of Donegal, or she divides it into parishes as well. Extremely useful. Click onto any parish and you will find everything that she has in Boyne Parish, for example, in there. Lots and lots and lots of useful information. Brilliant website. Also, you can go and search if you like, because Lyndall has my booklet on there as well in the middle of her front page. So you can use my booklet to find it. And when you get to it, you can find my booklet. Bob's website, again, extremely useful. There it is, full of all sorts of information about Donegal. There's a similar website for County Tyrone, hosted by Jim McCain. He assembles, he's a very modest man, will take no credit for it all. He gives all the credit to the good people like Faye Rogue and Len Swindley, who assemble all of the data on here on his website. Incidentally, one of the most useful things in these county websites is maps, and in particular maps of townlands. Everything in Irish genealogy comes back to the townland where someone lived at, so you want to know where the townland maps are, and both these Tyrone and Donegal websites do have maps of townlands. Here, for example, if you're looking for that townland, click on there and you will get a map coming up of the townlands. Unfortunately, there's none for County Derry. Big county like County Derry does not have its own county website, so if you're thinking of starting one up, we would all be very grateful. One final website that you may wish to have a look at. You've now watched 10 programs, 10 videos of myself telling you how to research your family history in Ireland. Well, I also have my own website, my own Facebook page as well, and you may find it useful and hopefully interesting if you go there. There's always all sorts of various information on there about researching your family history in Ireland. So, there we are, 10 workshops, hopefully making it a little bit easier for you to research your family history in Ireland online. Now, as I've said before, at the end of these workshops, don't forget that if you have found them useful and you think other people might find them useful, then please like them by going down to the bottom here where you're watching this. Click on the like button, but even better still, click on the subscribe button, and that will bring these programs further up in Google's search engine. Not only that, but if you subscribe to it, whenever we do more programs, as we will be doing more programs, then you will be informed whenever these programs become available. Thank you very much.